I am an old school C-dub fan, and on this piece, I gotta give them a shout out. Not only are they doing some of their best horology these days, but the rendering of this and resisting the temptation to put their name on it must have been incredible. And this is certainly one worth putting your name on it if you made it. It's gorgeous. We're going to get up in its business just one moment. But speaking a little more broadly about the Moonphase, a poetic complication, meaning that it doesn't have a whole lot of practical use in terms of, I mean, we're not fishermen, right? We're not needing to track the tides or the moon phases in order to figure out if we're going to be able to see when we go out at night. It's just a beautiful thing, and that's okay. It's okay for something to exist just to be beautiful. And as I consider my relationship with the Moonphase, I've got a couple watches, and I've had a few over the years. I got the Zinn chronograph that has a moon complication on it. I always wanted one that had a super duper big moon on it. And I owned the previous iteration, the C9, briefly, and my good buddy JD still owns his. I don't think he knows this one is out yet, though. Maybe he'll have some opinions when he sees it. Ball, and that one's pretty great. I like the ones that have the large moon represented on the dial, like the Panamatic Lunar by Le Chute Original. Absolutely gorgeous, and still a contender for my wrist time because I think it's epically beautiful, and frankly probably the closest I'm going to get to that Lange design language, and they're also made in the same region. But a pretty great watch, even though it still does have a modest moon. Now, the one that really caught my eyes years ago was from Arnold & Son. If you don't know about this brand, there is an AD that has them out in LA, Feldmar, which is where I got this on my last trip to LA. This thing is gorgeous. This is the rose gold, I believe, which is not in my price band. I think that's probably a $25,000 watch. But they make one. Let's get to it. Look at that. Absolutely gorge. I don't know that blue makes a lot of sense for the dial, but they have one that is a little more approachable, the black. This is a steel. And there was a time when I was chasing these. I could find it. You could find it for $7K back in the day, pre-pandemic. I don't know where they're at now. I've not been chasing them. Plus, they're 42 millimeters, so way too big for a dress watch. Way too big for my wrist for a dress watch. And when Christopher Ward announced this one, it came in the way of a. I'm on their email list. I got a random email, and I went and I clicked and I bought it immediately. I didn't want to run into a Bel Canto situation where the first run of Bel Cantos were immediately sold out. So a little bit of FOMO, and these are still available. And I have to say, I also wanted an Aventurine dial at some point. She's pretty epically gorgeous. Now that moon is super duper big and bright, and every Aventurine dial is going to be different because it's a stone. I haven't put it on wrist yet, haven't sized it just yet. This is more or less, right out of the box. Obviously, I took off the plastic. She's not running right now. But I have to say, Christopher Ward, well done. They're doing some of their best watchmaking. Let's get this off this little contraption here. And we're back. Oh my goodness, C-Dub, what did you do? All right, what are we looking at? Let's put some numbers up on the board. Christopher Ward C1 Moonphase, the Moony. Gosh, 40.5 diameter. Pretty good. Pretty darn good. Lug to lug. Let's see how the lug to lug fits me. You know what? This is my watch. I don't need to be. I don't need to be too careful with it. A little bit careful. Let's see how it looks on wrist. Pretty big. Pretty gorgeous. I almost want to say this is a dress watch, not for the office, but this is a watch you wear going out to dinner with your girl somewhere special on a starry night. Or maybe even a Sunday afternoon, possibly. Gosh. 13.3. Not bad at all. And, also thankfully 20 millimeters, 21 millimeter nonsense, so not an UGG with 3 atmospheres of water resistance, so, don't wash the dishes. That's to be expected, although in today's day and age, I think even a dress watch should be getting me at least 5. Can I get, Christopher, can I please get 2 more atmospheres? And so the movement in here is the caliber JJ04, which is more or less their module sitting on top of a Sellita SW220 base. You're going to get 38 hours. Gotta fumble it as long as I don't drop it. 38 hours of running power usage. That is a DLC rotor. I don't know why they went with black for the rotor. I'd have been tempted to go, I don't know, silver? Well, what's on the front? Oh, an Aventurine rotor. That would have been rad. Although it would have probably been too lightweight. Who knows? I don't know if that's a heavy metal or not. But that would have been a nice rotor motif. Still pretty gorgeous. Now, I don't recall how many years this will stay accurate with Moonphase, but I think it's like some absurdly high number of like 150 years. As long as you keep it running, you'll never have to update the Moonphase. But, oh, she's going now. Okay, cool. Now, it does say Swiss made at the bottom. Okay, I would have been inclined to maybe leave that off just to keep it absolutely pure and clean. You've already gone the extra mile of not bothering to put your logo on there, and Swiss made doesn't mean what it used to, right? It doesn't carry the cachet, the weight it used to once upon a time. So, the Arnold & Son, which I still desire greatly, easily 4x what this watch costs, right? And you can still find the old CW C9 Moonphases. You can even find a video on YouTube where some Yahoo did a, what he calls a make-believe watch, where he fixed it and removed some of the Roman numerals. You can check that video in the back catalog. That video was a lot of fun, bit of fun with Photoshop. This one, for me, certainly trumps that previous iteration. The C1 here does beat the C9 as far as I'm concerned. Let's get super duper in there. Come on, focus on that moon itself. They did a really great job. I live in the city, so we don't get this kind of star pattern. I had to go out into the country to see this many stars at once, but pretty gorgeous. So I opted on bracelet. I've got a ton of Christopher Ward straps from back in the day, a bunch of black leather, blue leather, gator, croc from them, and their clasp. This one is a double deployant, so pretty nice. This was a trigger buy for me. I didn't hesitate. As soon as I got the email, I was hanging out with G-Money, I went into there, logged on, and bought it. And I don't know if that was because I loved it, and I do, or if it was FOMO because of the Bel Canto. I wouldn't mind owning one of those Bel Cantos. I know they released other ones since the initial sellout. I'd like to hold one and get it on wrist, but I think this is going to scratch the itch for a big Moonphase watch. I mean, the Arnold, the Arnie, the Arnold & Son is just too big for me. It's 42. It's too big. This one I see staying. That's why I bought it. I knew I was going to keep it, or maybe I'll pawn it off on the JD or Rose City. Rose City might like this too. I don't know. No, but I think it's going to stay with me. I think she's pretty gorgeous. Hope you enjoy this wild card. And if you have any questions about this piece, hit me up in the comments. Find me on Instagram. Always happy to help educate. If you just want to talk watches, you can hit me up there too. I talk with a bunch of people about watches. Because why? My family doesn't want to hear about it, and I got to talk watches to somebody. All right, we shall catch you in the next one. Peace.